Super Derby Day in Bossier City.
Furlong to go. Prayer for Relief digs in.
Cautious optimism is all of our consigners' favorite phrase.
Shared property.
Leandro finally heard me yelling at him to switch sticks.
Did you hear Tom yelling at you to change sticks?
No, I didn't. I wish I did.
Tell me you're not thinking Kentucky Derby.
Oh, I'm not only thinking, Aaron. It's done. It's up.
Julie Crown, invincible hero.
What a lot of people don't know is that Migliore means the best in Italian.
This is HRTV Rewind, taking a look back at the racing week.
Now, therefore, I, Lorenz Walker, Mayor of the City of Bossier City, do hereby proclaim Saturday, September 10th, 2011, as Super Derby Day in Bossier City, and ask all citizens to join me at Harrah's, Louisiana Downs for the running of Super Derby 32.
They turn for home in the Super Derby. Prayer for Relief set down. Here's Awesome Bet and Populist Politics. Run at him on the outside. Furlong to go. Prayer for Relief digs in. Awesome Bet between them. Populist Politics on the outside. 16th to go. And Prayer for Relief turns back the closers and wins the Super Derby by 2.5 lengths.
Raphael, you plan to take Prayer for Relief to the front end. It was a race that didn't look like it had a lot of speed on paper.
Well, you know, I thought the number one is going to go to the lead very easy, but what I think something happened, you know, in the break, so I was putting the lead really easy, and my horse bring me really easy to the lead, so I was really comfortable, you know, when I see nobody put me pressure, I just try to set out the pace and getting slow, you know.
And Jimmy, you had to be pretty comfortable when you saw these fractions.
Well, yeah, we'll take those fractions all day long, that's for sure.
So Prayer for Relief adds the Super Derby to his Derby collection now, Iowa, West Virginia, and Super. Do you have any idea maybe where he could be going forward?
Not really. We'll just head back to California and take it from there.
Enchanted is under the whip. From the back of the pack, Little Miss Protocol nowhere to go. Burning Rage at the inside, 1 furlong to go. Sooner Red has to fend off My Gigi, who's finding stride on the outside. Sooner Red digs in for the final 50 yards. My Gigi, a last-minute leap. Here's the wire. Sooner Red, hold on. Final 1/8 of a mile. Humble Destin has moved into second. Southern Style third. 16th to go. Tidal Volume clear by 4. Humble Destin giving chase. 50 yards to go. Tidal Volume with plenty left to win the Temperance Hill by 2.
And She's All In is driving down the far outside. Category 7 angling out. The leader now, Vicky's in town. The far outside is She's All In. Vicky's in town. She's All In. It's Vicky's in town. She's All In. Photo finish. She's All In might very well have gotten there on the outside, but that's a photo.
They're at the top of the stretch in the unbridled Sweet Southern Moon set down. String King fights on. Lonesome Street comes up the rail. Golden Yank with a big move. Golden Yank dives down to the inside. 16th to go. Lonesome Street. Golden Yank a flying finish up the inside. Lonesome Street digs in. Here's Golden Yank to nail it on the wire.
I mean, you know, when you got a horse, you can do anything you want.
Turn for home in the Sunday Silence. Top Cat Boogie set down for the final 1/8 of a mile. Price's Posse and Tequila Vector. Gung Ho swung outside for the final 16th, but Top Cat Boogie has a 3-length lead. Gung Ho is coming fast, but so is the wire. Top Cat Boogie, Gung Ho, a final try to get there.
He was all there for me and took off and won't do it easy.
It was a rivalry for the ages. During the 1989 Triple Crown season, West Coasters favored the fiery-tempered colt trained by a legend. Those east of the Mississippi were smitten with a regally bred colt whose bloodlines represented a racing dynasty. The Charlie Whittingham-trained Sunday Silence, an easy goer who was conditioned by Shug McGahee, first butted heads in the Kentucky Derby. Easy Goer dominated in the wagering as the odds-on choice, with the California-based Sunday Silence and jockey Patrick Valenzuela at the final word.
And here comes Sunday Silence through the stretch, coming to the finish of the Derby. Sunday Silence wins this Derby by 2 lengths.
Sunday Silence took the back seat again, if only in the public's eye in the Preakness. But the outcome, if not the margin of victory, was the same as in the Derby.
Here's the finish. Sunday Silence wins it by a nose.
Not surprisingly, New Yorkers were squarely behind Easy Goer and jockey Pat Day in the Belmont Stakes. But given the results of the Derby and Preakness, Sunday Silence attracted the lion's share of the wagering. It would be putting it mildly to say that Easy Goer spoiled Sunday Silence's Triple Crown bid. Decimated it is more like it.
And it's Easy Goer with Pat Day winning the Belmont and denying Sunday Silence the Triple Crown.
The Colts went their separate way to prepare for what would be their final meeting, the Breeders' Cup Classic at Gulfstream Park. While Easy Goer remained in New York and defeated his elders in the Jockey Club Gold Cup, Whittingham, who co-owned Sunday Silence, opted to bring his horse to the Bayou for the 10th running of the Super Derby. Several very accomplished horses had won the Super Derby, but no horse had won the Super Derby and Breeders' Cup Classic the same year until Sunday Silence.
Super Derby Sunday belongs to Sunday Silence.
The Super Derby proved to be the perfect tune-up for the son of Halo, who got the better of his arch-rival once again in the last matchup.
And Sunday Silence holds on.
The final score, Sunday Silence 3, Easy Goer 1. It was a well-deserved championship season for Sunday Silence, who was not only the divisional leader, but also Horse of the Year. And only 6 years after his retirement, he was recognized with the highest honor in racing, induction into the Hall of Fame.
Besides the fact that she's beautiful, she just, moves so well, and she's, just never had a bad day. She's, always calm and cool and collected. She's just, got a good head about her, and she's just, I think she's beautiful. I think there's always, good money for good horses, and I hope we have some good ones.
Cautious optimism is all of our consigners' favorite phrase. The problem that we face is managing expectations. So we're managing clients' expectations with the realities of the market. One of the best things I think about this year so far is that supply is beginning to meet demand. And the smaller foal crop is beginning to come to the fore. It's becoming a factor. We saw it in Saratoga as far as a smaller group of horses. There are so many more horses here. It's a much larger market, but still, the quality horses are a smaller group, and hopefully that will come through.
His physical attributes stand out. He's a very well-balanced, athletic colt with a very smooth walk, as you can see. He kind of floats across the ground. From a pedigree perspective, he would be an outstanding opportunity for someone who wanted to race at the highest levels. His mother was an extremely fast, unbridled song mare. You mix that with some of the longer distances that Street Cry can get, and you've got a very dynamic potential here to have a grade 1 type of horse.
The Fairgrounds meet is the richest quarter horse meet in Louisiana, and so our trainers around here, they point to this. It's been a couple months since the Delta Downs meet closed, so everyone's been freshening their horses, so you'll see a lot of peak performances during the next few weeks. But yeah, it's a 12-day meet, and we opened the track for training about a week and a half ago, and a few of our top trainers, they were here the day we opened. Guys like Kenny Roberts, they see the value in being here to train over the track before they get a start, and with a guy like Kenny, that's proven to be very effective. I mean, he was our leading trainer last year. I would say he's easily the favorite to repeat this season.
They're off in the Audubon Stakes. Dashing by, Cindy broke well on the outside. Now Jessa Game gets in gear along the inside. La Mochingono is next from the outside. Jess, big time comes on. Jess a Game.
You're watching HRTV Rewind with a week of racing to recap.
as they come down to the final furlong is Essence of Bubbles. Essence of Bubbles leads by a couple of lengths. Rocket 21 trying to bridge the deficit for the final 16th. And the dances come to third from Struck and Lucky. Then Venetian Sonata. Rocket 21 on the wire.
For the first time I got honor, I told Mr. Howard, we're going to win the Lassie with this filly. And he said, really? I said, yeah. And I don't know if I was talking too much, but I had a feeling that she was special.
I was worried the distance, but it worked out good. Eddie rode her real good, so we're real happy and work with some good people, so good things happen.
1200 has swept in front. Danger Storm. Phil gives way. Here comes Take Charge Indy. And on the outside, Shared Property is charging hard. And the final furlong, Take Charge Indy took toward the rail. Shared Property charging on the outside. Inside the final 16th, Motor City has come to third. No spin fourth. Shared Property.
I thought he ran very well. The race set up well. He's a real kind horse. He relaxed. Leandro had him in a good position. I know Leandro has a lot of confidence in him, and I guess with about 40 yards to go, Leandro finally heard me yelling at him to switch sticks, and he finally went to his right-handed stick. So that was the difference.
Congratulations. Great job as always. And how about that? Did you hear Tom yelling at you to change sticks?
No, I didn't. I wish I did.
Super 6 brought to you by TwinSpires.com, and we'll start off with number 6, and that's Majestic City, who had his unbeaten streak snapped in the Del Mar Futurity when he ran second, although he got DQ'd. I still think this is a very, very good colt. He might, however, be better suited perhaps to the sprint rather than the two-turn juvenile come Breeders' Cup time. We have Currency Swap at number 5. Very impressive, ran very fast in his debut. His hopeful win was workmanlike. At number 4, we have Creative Cause. He's the Giants Causeway colt who won his first two, but I'm not sure whether he's already peaked or not. I guess we'll find out when he comes here to the Oak Tree for the Norfolk Stakes. At number 3, we have Union Rags, undefeated in 2 starts. He won a sloppy track version of the Saratoga Special back in mid-August from Michael Matz by Dixie Union out of a Gone West mare. That's mile breeding. He should be able to stay 2 turns down the road. At number 2, we have Drill, the Lawyer Ron colt, who got beaten his debut and then has won his last 2, a maiden win, and of course the Del Mar Futurity. Number 1 on my list is a horse who's never even been in the stakes. All he has is a maiden win, and that's Fire on Ice. Won by almost 11 lengths. To me, he has the best upside. He's not proven yet. He's just a maiden winner, but the way he won that race, to me, gives him top billing. I think he is the best of this group so far.
And you can get him at 50-1 for the Kentucky Derby at the Future Books in Vegas right now.
We've been watching all this great 2-year-old action on HRTV, and tell me you're not thinking Kentucky Derby.
Oh, I'm not only thinking, Aaron. It's done. It's up.
Classic. All right,
just went up a couple hours ago, so we're in action, and we can book something for about 7 months. A horse that I saw when I was up there for Travers Weekend was this Fire on Ice. I saw a similar horse run like this when I was at the Travers last year. You know who that horse was?
Uncle Mo.
Uncle Mo. And then there's a horse, Alpha. Very impressive winner. He's 50-1. So there's a couple 50-1s. That's your favorites, and things will change drastically over the next 7 months.
Currency Swap. Triniberg at the 8th pole. Still there. Currency Swap on the outside, fighting on. Triniberg desperately trying to hold off. Currency Swap. Those two come down to the line, and it is Currency Swap who wins the hopeful by a half length.
On the outside of that comes Drill. They come for home. Gunboat down at the rail. Basmati is right there as well. Majestic City, Creative Cause, and Drill. 5 of them in a straight line. 5 in a line. Drill on the outside doing best. Drill, Majestic City, Drill. Drill gets up to beat Majestic City.
Power now trying to make ground on the near side, straight of Zanzibar. Then comes Dragon Pulse on the outside. They're heading down to the final 200 yards now. David Livingston with Power in the center. Dragon Pulse as they race up towards the finish. Power gets to the front. Dragon Pulse the near side. Power and Shamie Avenel will win it from Dragon Pulse.
Perfect Officer to challenge on the inside. Hero's Reward trying to make a rail run. On the outside, Chamberlain Bridge. Here comes Ben's Cat. Ben's Cat is absolutely flying on the outside. Ben's Cat below the course on the inside. It is tight there with Perfect Officer, but it's tight. Ben's Cat in perfect officer, a photo finish.
The Breeders' Cup, since its inception becoming such a big part of the sport, growing up as a racing fan, as a developing trainer, do you have, from a fan's perspective, an all-time favorite Breeders' Cup moment?
Well, from a fan perspective, I mean, there's been so many great races. You know, I don't know that one would stand out. I think, obviously, you know, Miesk winning back-to-back was very exciting. And then for Goldakova to three-peat, you know, I mean, as a racing fan, you got a enormous respect for that. So I'd say those were two that stands out. Some great classics, and you know, when Tisnow won the classic at Belmont and looked like he was beaten and came on again, that was certainly exciting. And obviously from a personal standpoint, I mean, you know, Shadow and Speightstown being my first two on the same day at Lone Star, for me personally, those were pretty exciting.
It had been a frustrating 2 years in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile for trainer Bob Baffert when he brought Vindication to Chicago in 2002. 2 years earlier, Baffert missed winning his first Breeders' Cup Juvenile in a heartbreak.
Machorolo coming on to take the lead. That's Point Gibbon flies it up. Machorolo veers up and finishes in a photo with the oncoming Point Gibbon.
In 2001, the silver-haired trainer saddled the favorite Officer, who could only manage a fifth-place finish. In 2002, on a blustery afternoon at Arlington Park, Baffert gave Mike Smith a leg up on an undefeated son of Triple Crown winner Seattle Slew, who was bought for $2.1 million as a yearling. Despite his perfect record, Vindication was not the favorite in the Juvenile. That role was held by East Coast hotshot YYY. But it was Satish Sanan's Vindication who stole the show.
And it is a sweep here for Bob Baffert. 1-2 under the line. Vindication will go on to be the juvenile champion here.
With his breathtaking win and a championship in his pocket, Vindication was poised for greatness. Unfortunately, a suspensory injury derailed any Triple Crown hopes. The colt was put back in training, but never raced again and was retired that August. It was a tough blow for his connections. "I'm truly disappointed," Baffert said at the time. "Vindication was the most exciting 2-year-old I have ever trained." Sadly, Vindication would not be able to realize his potential at stud either. During the summer of 2008, the promising young stallion suffered a stomach rupture and was euthanized. During his 5 seasons at Hillendale and Lexington, Kentucky, Vindication sired more than a dozen stakes winners, among them More Happy and Wyoming.
You're watching HRTV Rewind, taking a look back at the racing week.
It's a ding-dong battle as they race inside the last 150 yards. Jukebox Jury on the rail, Duncan on the near side. They're racing up. It's a head bobber as they hit the line. It's going to be a gun to the judge. Desperate close. Jukebox Jury and Duncan on the near side.
Masked Marvel has gone on. Seville in second. Sea Moon just could not get it out. He was slammed in the face as they went inside the final furlong. Masked Marvel and William Buick go clear by 3 lengths now. Brown Panther tries to close. Sea Moon got daylight far too late. Masked Marvel wins the Ledger.
Tell me, what are you doing back in the tack here at Del Mar?
Well, it's for the cause. There's a lovely race, the St. Ledger's Festival, the Fall Festival at Doncaster Racecourse, and they've put together 2 charity events for the racing, and for one of them is to help the house that Jack built. And there'll be some jockeys coming out of retirement there, and I'm one of them.
But it's Julie Crone, an invincible hero, and they've gone to a lead of 3 to 4 lengths now inside the final 16th of a mile for Julie Crone. Invincible hero, and it is Julie Crone, the Hall of Famer, the only woman to ride a winner of a Triple Crown race. She wins the Ledger Legends.
So what goes into this? What are the ingredients that we need to make a migliore, or that MIG, as we would say?
We call it the MIG because of three more ingredients, which is arugula, goat cheese, and sun-dried tomatoes. And this is something he's very fond of. We know that because he was a patron in a restaurant that we had, and given his commitment to eating clean and healthy while he was riding, of course watching his weight, that became a special signature salad for him. Then when we came over here, of course, being in the track, we wanted to introduce the MIG, and I was driving around, I was thinking, and I gave him a call. I said, what would you think if we put the MIG on the menu? And it ran last year, and it ran this year, and I would say it's one of our more popular pies.
Does the MIG get to eat his pizza for free?
Oh, MIG, he's anytime. You know, he's a busy guy here, all dressed up in a nice tie, a suit and a tie, but when he does have chance, he does have an opportunity, he certainly comes by.
All right, Richie, pressure's on.
Oh, now the pressure's on,
yeah.
huh?
So simply split that with me and take a small little bite. It's going to be very hot. You know, it comes out of an 800-degree oven.
Yeah, you need
so,
as well, right?
Yes, thank you. So be careful.
Well, and what a lot of people don't know is that migliore means the best in Italian. So the pizza is well named because this is the best.
This is the best.
Grassy, Sell the Barber, Senegas getting on track late there on the outside, and Bulldog. Here is Grassy, who forges to the lead at the 16th pole. Grassy in front. Grassy pulling away at the very end here.
Richard, we welcome you to race day on what's got to be an emotional day, especially for a New Yorker.
Well, absolutely, Scott, and hi, Joanne. It was, you know, just a surreal event that was unfolding right in front of our eyes. Belmont, you know, is only about 11 miles from the World Trade Center, you know, as the crow flies, and we were sitting there watching this horror just take place, and then the first tower fell, and we were standing there, and it was there one second, it was gone the next, and it was just a devastating, unbelievable experience.
That's all for Rewind this week. Here's a look at what's coming up next week on HRTV.